Welcome to you, son of a witch. This
No.
week we have two really cool stories, some thrilling flash fiction stories for our wizarding probe. Um,
Yeah, indeed.
you guys sent these to us.
This will be a good one. We've got the Gladiator's Grimoire set
Ooh,
in ancient Rome, right? Lots of good stuff there. And then we've got the Gondolier's Grimoire set in plague-ridden Venice.
ooh, plague-ridden Venice. I love it already.
Yeah, so you were all really interested in how, these kind of normal guys in these crazy situations just stumble upon, forbidden knowledge
Yeah,
and
totally.
just what kind of chaos unfolds. So should we get right into it?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
So, the Gladiator's Grimoire. Let's start there.
Okay, so we've got Marcus.
Marcus.
Our main man, Marcus, he's a former soldier. He's now a gladiator, enslaved,
Mm-hmm.
you know, forced to fight for his life.
Ooh, blood and sand.
Blood and sand, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So his life totally changes,
of
right?
course. Grimoire.
Like Gagever is a grimoire. But, from what you guys said, this isn't just some fancy, Latin textbook.
No. Like, what?
It's raw. It's intense. It's this, like, deep, powerful magic that comes straight from, his struggle.
Whoa. Okay, I'm already hooked.
One of the things that you pointed out, right, was that this magic is fueled by, it says, grit in his teeth and the ache in his branded flesh.
Whoa. That is heavy. So it's not like your average spell book.
No, not at all. This is like, magic born of desperation, not privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff we see in like fantasy films sometimes, right?
Totally. Yeah. You don't learn this in some fancy academy. It's ground up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so set the scene for me. What's the first thing that Marcus does?
Okay, so picture this. He's in the arena, right?
Okay.
First match, he's up against this Numidian gladiator. Everyone's expecting a straight-up fight, right?
Right.
Swords clashing, shields bashing, all that.
Totally.
But Marcus, he pulls out something completely unexpected. He uses a spell, right? But it's not some fireball or something like that.
Mm.
He conjures this pit of, like, ankle-snapping mud
Mhm.
right in the middle of the arena.
Oh.
I mean, can you imagine?
That's crazy. You never see that coming.
No, it's so smart.
Right.
So sneaky.
Totally takes the Numidian by surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, who expects to be fighting in mud?
Nobody. And
Right.
that's what's so cool about it, right? It's like, it shows how he's thinking outside the box. He's
Yeah.
using his magic in this really practical, almost brutal way.
Yeah.
It's not about, putting on a show. It's about survival.
Exactly. And like you said, it's totally different from what you might expect. Like in your notes, right, you mentioned how he doesn't use fireballs or anything flashy like that.
Right. That's for like the pampered mages, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. His magic is all about like, sharpened shadows lashed like whips and like this spell of dizzying nausea that he fuels with his own blood.
Whoa.
It's visceral. It's connected to his pain, to his will to live. It's heavy stuff.
Wow. Okay, that's hardcore.
And here's the thing, right, that really got us both thinking. He spares the Numidian. He doesn't kill him.
Right. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just like a strategic thing in the moment? Or is it something more, Oh, that's such a good question. It definitely could be tactical.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants the crowd to want a rematch.
Right.
Make things even more intense later on. But it could also be something deeper. Maybe even a sliver of mercy in this brutal world he's trapped in. Like maybe he doesn't want to take a life if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, maybe. And that's what makes him so compelling, right? He's got this moral complexity, this internal struggle that's happening alongside all the magic and fighting.
Absolutely.
So he wins, right? What
Yeah.
happens next?
Yeah. And each victory, it's like another step on his path to freedom. The grimoire promises him all these powerful spells, right? Illusions to trick the guards, bindings to break his chains, and like this final spell for terrible retribution.
Intense.
It is. But, there's this tension here, right?
Yeah, go on.
Is he becoming this, like, hero figure?
Yeah.
Or is he just turning into another weapon of the Empire?
That's a really interesting question.
Right. Because even though he's fighting for his own freedom, the means he's using, this magic fueled by his suffering, it's almost like it could be twisted.
Right.
And that's what makes the story so thought-provoking.
It is. It's like, can you really escape the system when you're using the system's tools? you know?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got this moral dilemma going on. How does it play out?
So things really escalate when they pit him against his closest friend in the arena. It's this Thracian girl, right?
Mm.
They describe her with, like, these haunted eyes.
Oh, my God.
And he refuses to fight her.
Wow. Talk about defiance.
Right. And this one act, it sets off a full-blown riot. Everyone in the stands, all the other slaves, they see this act of defiance, and it's like a spark ignites. One of your sources mentioned this la resistance idea.
Yeah, it's like they see that there's a possibility of fighting back.
Exactly. And in the chaos, they managed to escape into this, labyrinth beneath the Colosseum.
Ooh. Underground tunnels. Secret passages.
Yeah. It's a classic hope spot. It seems like they might actually make it out, find their freedom. But, of course, it can't be that easy.
Uh-oh. Enter the big bad.
Yeah, pretty much. This is where Senator Marcus's comes in. And this guy, he's not just some random corrupt official. He's the one who orchestrated Marcus's downfall in the first place. And get this, he's a mage himself.
Whoa. So Marcus is going up against, like, a supervillain, basically.
You could say that. What's really interesting, though, is how the senator reacts to Marcus.
How so?
Well, when Marcus reveals his magic, the senator isn't afraid. He isn't surprised. He's actually excited.
Excited? Why would he be excited?
That's the question, isn't it? It suggests that he's been playing a deeper game all along. Like, maybe he knew this would happen. Maybe he even wanted it to happen. Like that Worf effect idea that came up in your notes, right? This new bad guy immediately outclasses the old ones.
Totally. This is next level stuff.
Oh, yeah. And the final confrontation, they describe it as like this blast of pure magic, shimmering, meeting Marcus's raw power, fueled by all his suffering.
Whoa, what a visual. So who wins?
Well, that's the thing. The story ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, come on.
I know, right? It leaves you hanging, wondering what happened, what the fallout is going to be. Did Marcus manage to defeat the senator? Did he escape? Did anyone else survive? We don't know.
That's rough. But it makes you want to read more, right?
Oh, absolutely. It leaves you on the edge of your seat. It makes you think about the cost of fighting for freedom, the choices you have to make, the sacrifices involved. It's powerful stuff.
Totally. Okay, so from the grit and blood of the Roman arena, let's shift gears and dive into the murky, like, shadowy canals of Venice. Plague time.
Yes, the Gondolier's Grimoire.
Okay, I'm already creeped out and I love it.
It's a different kind of intense, right? You're dropped right into this city that's being ravaged by the Black Death.
Yeah. You mentioned the plague masks, the beak nightmares as they were described. I can just imagine the fear, the stench, the desperation in the air.
Absolutely. It's like this oppressive weight hanging over everything.
Right.
And you were particularly intrigued by the idea of this gondolier, this everyday guy, finding a potential solution to this overwhelming catastrophe.
Yeah, total underdog story.
Classic.
So tell me about Marco. How does he stumble upon this grimoire?
Well, it's all wrapped up in superstition. Rumors of a hidden book with a cure passed down through generations. Marco's driven by this sense of guilt, this feeling that he hasn't done enough to help his city. And maybe, just maybe, there's a flicker of hope in finding this grimoire.
That's a strong motivator.
Oh, yeah.
So what's in the grimoire? Like, are we talking detailed medical diagrams and stuff?
Not quite. It's something different. The description talks about herbs, diagrams, words aching with a power beyond his grasp. It hints at an older knowledge, something outside the realm of the church and conventional medicine. It's like this ancient wisdom connected to the natural world. There's even this really cool line that says, something in their patterns echoed the canals, the tides, the very pulse of a dying Venice.
Whoa. So it's like the cure is tied to the city itself, almost like it's part of its essence?
Exactly. It's got this, creepy good vibe. Right?
Yeah. Like the source of healing is also kind of unsettling, almost forbidden. I like that.
Me too. And it doesn't take long for the danger to become very real. Enter the Inquisitors, all in their black robes, with their radiating authority and threat.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Inquisition. You know things are about to get serious.
No messing around. Marco's in huge trouble if they catch him with this grimoire.
So what does he do?
He's got to try, right?
Right.
So he gathers what he can. Makeshift apothecary, trying to decipher the grimoire's secrets. And there's this really powerful moment where he pricks his finger, adding his own blood to a sigil on his gondolier's oar.
Wow, that's intense.
Right. It shows how much he believes in this, how desperate he is to find a cure. He's literally putting himself into the ritual, risking everything.
That's dedication.
Big time. And then he has this encounter with the plague doctor.
Ooh, the plague doctor. Okay, those guys were creepy.
Super creepy with their masks and everything.
Yeah, like straight out of a nightmare.
Totally.
Yeah.
So at first, the doctor is super skeptical, even hostile towards Marco. I mean, here's this gondolier talking about magic cures, right?
Makes sense.
But then something changes. They both see something in the grimoire, this potential, this glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, this could actually work.
Another hope spot, huh?
Yeah, it's like this brief moment of connection, this shared wonder in the face of this horrific plague. But just when it seems like they might work together,
What happens?
the doctor betrays Marco, steals the grimoire.
Oh, no. Seriously.
It's a brutal twist. I mean, it really highlights how the plague has warped everything, how trust has just evaporated.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everyone's just looking out for themselves.
Survival mode, right? And it really kicks that race against the clock into high gear. Now, Marco's not only trying to find a cure, he's trying to stop the doctor from potentially doing something dangerous with the grimoire.
Oh, man, the stakes just got even higher.
Absolutely. And then, just when you think all hope is lost, the doctor comes back.
What? He comes back?
Yeah. And get this, he tells Marco the cure is working.
Whoa. Really? It's actually working.
Slowly, but it's working. And there's this sense that the doctor has changed, maybe seen the effects of the cure firsthand, and they form this unlikely alliance, symbolized by them both pricking their fingers and letting their blood mingle on the grimoire.
That's powerful. So they're both defying the plague and the authorities now.
Exactly. It's a screw the rules, I'm doing what's right moment.
Big time.
They're committed to saving Venice, no matter the cost.
But it can't be that easy, can it? There's got to be another obstacle.
Of course. Just as they're starting to make progress, the Doge's guard shows up.
Oh, no, alerted by the Inquisition, right?
You got it.
So what happens? Do they get caught?
The story ends with them escaping into the canals, this maze of shadowed bridges on the Grand Canal. Their fate is left uncertain.
Oh, man, another cliffhanger.
I know. But there's this glimmer of hope. They might be on the run, facing exile or death, but they have the cure. And the story ends with this idea that the open sea awaits them, suggesting they might be able to spread the cure beyond Venice.
Oh, that's cool. So even though they're in danger, there's this chance that they might save even more people.
Exactly. They're in a race against time, a race against the plague itself. Your notes had this power born of madness idea, right?
Right. It's like the cure's power mirrors the way the plague spreads. It's so eerie and fascinating.
Totally. So there you have it. Two wild tales, both exploring what happens when ordinary people stumble upon extraordinary power in the face of overwhelming challenges.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? It makes you think about how much potential we all have, how much we can achieve, even when faced with seemingly impossible odds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Both Marcus and Marco, they show us what it means to fight for what you believe in, even when the whole world seems against you.
And I think what really sticks with me is how these stories blend magic with the grit and grime of reality. It's not just about spells and grimoires. It's about the human experience, the struggles, the choices we make.
Definitely. It makes the magic feel real, relatable, and it makes you think, what kind of hidden knowledge, what kind of grimoire might be out there in our world just waiting to be discovered.
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. So, if you enjoyed this week's wizarding probe into these awesome flash fiction stories, make sure to rate and follow you, Son of a Witch, for more thrilling tales from the world of flash fiction.
We'll see you next time.